Today, billions of people follow prophets like Prophet Moses, Prophet Jesus, and Prophet Muhammad. But history is filled with other men who also claimed divine revelation. They gathered followers, performed miracles, and preached salvation. Some of them came astonishingly close to changing the world. Yet today, people have never even heard their names. So what separates a world religion from a forgotten cult? And why did some prophets reshape civilizations while others disappeared into history? In the video today, I'll tell you the story of such men who have claimed to be prophets during the last 2000 years. Some of them gained wide popularity and yet did not achieve to successfully change the world. Watch the video till the end.
If you are seeking clarity in the core concepts, fundamental principles, and basic beliefs of all religions, history and philosophy, you have come to the right place. Welcome to my channel, History, Religion and Philosophy Bite Size. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and share. The modern world often imagines prophets as rare individuals appearing once every many centuries. But the ancient world was overflowing with prophetic figures, especially during periods of political chaos, oppression, war, and social collapse. Whenever society entered crises, prophetic movements exploded. People searched for meaning, hope, divine guidance, and salvation. The Roman Empire, ancient Judea, Persia, Arabia, and China all became fertile ground for messiahs and prophets. And many of these figures attracted enormous followings. But history only remembers the winners. Let's start our story with Simon Magus, the first rival to Christianity. Around the same time that early Christianity was spreading through the Roman world, another mysterious figure emerged. His name was Simon Magus. According to early Christian writings, Simon was a magician, miracle worker, and religious teacher from Samaria. But his followers believed he was far more than that. Some believed Simon possessed divine power itself. Ancient sources describe him performing supernatural acts, astonishing crowds, and building a devoted movement. To early Christians, Simon represented something dangerous, a rival spiritual authority. In fact, some early church writers portrayed him almost as a satanic imitation of Christ. But here is what makes this fascinating. From the perspective of ordinary people living at the time, how would they know who was genuine? Both groups claimed miracles, both had devoted followers, both promised salvation, both preached spiritual truth. Yet one movement became Christianity and the other faded into history. Already we encounter a disturbing historical reality. Religious success is not always obvious in the beginning.
A lot of thought and effort goes into the making of these videos. So if you like this content, a like and subscribe really helps.
Long after Simon came another remarkable figure, Apollonius of Tyana, a wandering philosopher and a mystic born in the 1st century Common Era. The similarities between Apollonius and Jesus are astonishing. According to later accounts, he healed the sick, cast out demons, performed miracles, gathered disciples, preached morality, lived ascetically, and traveled widely teaching wisdom. Some stories even claim that he raised the dead. To many in the Greco-Roman world, Apollonius appeared to be a holy man touched by divine power. Centuries later, some pagan cities of Christianity even used Apollonius as an argument against Christianity itself. The argument was simple. If miracle-working teachers exist outside Christianity, then why should Jesus alone be considered divine? But despite his fame, Apollonius never became the center of a global religion. Why? Because history is not shaped only by ideas. It is shaped by empires, institutions, political support, geography, and historical momentum. Christianity eventually gained imperial backing under Rome. Apollonius did not, and that changed everything. By the way, if you are interested in the topic of how religions progress and become a worldwide phenomena, help of emperors and powers, watch this video above. Moving on to the 3rd century, one of the greatest forgotten religions in human history emerged. Its founder was Mani. Mani was born in Persia and claimed to be the final prophet sent to humanity. But Mani did something revolutionary. Instead of creating an entirely new religion, he attempted to unite the world's major faiths into one universal system. He claimed that Buddha, Jesus, and the earlier prophets had all carried partial truths, but that he alone brought the final and complete revelation. His religion became known as Manichaeism, and for centuries it spread astonishingly fast from Rome to Egypt to Central Asia to India and even China. At one point, Manichaeism looked like it might become one of the humanity's greatest universal religions. Even Augustine of Hippo, one of the Christianity's greatest church fathers, spent years following Manichaeism before converting to Christianity. But eventually, the religion was crushed. Persecuted by the Christian, persecuted by the Persians, and later persecuted by Muslims. And slowly it disappeared. Today, most people have never heard of Mani, yet history could easily have unfolded differently. In 7th century Arabia, prophetic movements were everywhere. The Arabian Peninsula was politically fragmented, tribal, and spiritually diverse. It was during this environment that Prophet Muhammad began preaching Islam, but he was not the only claimant to prophethood. One of his most famous rivals was Musaylimah. Musaylimah gathered a massive tribal following. He claimed to receive revelation. He produced verses similar in style to the Quran, and many accepted him as a genuine prophet. To later Muslims, he became known as Musaylimah the liar, Musaylimah Kazzab. But from a historical perspective, the situation was more complex. Arabia at that time contained multiple competing prophetic movements, and for a brief moment, history could genuinely have gone another way. After Prophet Muhammad's death, Musaylimah forces fought against the early Muslim community during the Ridda Wars. Eventually, he was defeated and killed. But imagine if the outcome had been reversed. Would history remember him differently today? History is often written by the survivors. Fast forward to the 17th century and we came across Sabbatai Zevi, the Jewish Messiah. Across the Jewish world, people were desperate. Centuries of persecution, exile, and suffering created enormous messianic expectations. Then came Sabbatai Zevi, a charismatic Jewish mystic from the Ottoman Empire. He declared himself the long-awaited Messiah. An astonishingly large part of the Jewish world believed him. From Europe to the Middle East, excitement exploded. People sold homes, prepared for redemption, expected the end of history itself. For a moment, it truly appeared that a Messiah had arrived. But then disaster struck. The Ottoman authorities arrested Sabbatai Zevi. Faced with execution, he made a shocking decision. He converted to Islam. The Messianic movement collapsed almost overnight. For many followers, the psychological devastation was enormous. Yet strangely, some followers continued believing in him even after his conversion. This reveals something deeply human. Once people emotionally commit to a prophetic movement, facts alone often do not destroy belief. In the 19th century, China faced chaos, poverty, famine, humiliation, and political collapse. And during this crisis emerged one of the strangest prophetic figures in history, Xiuquan. After failing imperial examinations multiple times, Hong experienced visions. Eventually, he became convinced that he was a younger brother of Jesus Christ, Hazrat Isa. He launched a religious political revolution called the Taiping Heavenly Kingdom. What followed became one of the deadliest conflicts in the human history. The Taiping rebellion likely killed between 20 and 30 million people. Entire cities were destroyed. For years, Hong ruled over huge territories and millions of followers. Imagine that. A failed exam candidate nearly reshaped China through a new prophetic movement. Eventually, the rebellion collapsed. But once again, history shows us something extraordinary. Under the right conditions, prophetic movement can transform entire civilizations. And last but not the least, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, the prophet of British India. By the 19th century, the Muslim world was in decline. Large parts of the Islamic world had fallen under European colonial rule. In India, Muslims were struggling politically, intellectually, and spiritually after the collapse of the Mughal Empire and the rise of British power. And it was during this period of uncertainty that another controversial religious figure emerged, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. Born in Khaidan in British India, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad initially presented himself as a religious reformer. But over time, his claims became far more extraordinary. He claimed to be the promised Messiah, the Mahdi, and eventually a prophet within Islam. His followers believed that he was sent by God to revive Islam in the modern age. He argued that many traditional interpretations of Islam had become corrupted and that violent jihad was no longer appropriate under British rule. His movement rapidly gained followers across India and beyond, but his claims also triggered fierce opposition from mainstream Muslim scholars. For most Muslims, the belief that Prophet Muhammad was the final prophet made any later claim to prophethood unacceptable. And so Mirza Ghulam Ahmad became one of the most controversial religious figures in modern Islamic history. Yet despite enormous opposition, his movement survived. Today, the Ahmadiyya movement has millions of followers across the world, with communities spread across Europe, Africa, Asia, and North America. This once again forces us to confront the same historical pattern we have seen throughout the video. Again and again, periods of political crisis and social uncertainty and spiritual confusion produce charismatic figures claiming divine authority. History is filled with forgotten prophets. Some gathered thousands of followers, some built powerful movements, some nearly changed civilization itself. But today, most people have never heard their names, and perhaps that is the strangest part of all. At many moments in history, the future of religion was uncertain. The religions we now see as inevitable once competed with countless rivals, which raises one final uncomfortable question. If history had unfolded differently, would humanity today worship completely different prophets? What do you think about the different false prophets in the history? I would love to see your comments and questions.
If you prefer this video in Urdu, I've created a whole Urdu version of this channel. Link is in the channel links and in description.